Body.
In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You will be getting your assessments that you did last week back tomorrow. I've still got about 3 more to mark, so I am sorry. It takes hours to mark. So you're getting back tomorrow, whenever I see tomorrow, period 3, 4, 3, period 3 tomorrow, you're getting back, and we'll do some pen on them tomorrow. Lexi, I need to finish what you do. So today we're back in our blue books because we are moving back to English literature. We are moving on to a Christmas Carol today. Tomorrow we'll be back in our green books. Yeah. It was mad.
Yeah. I'm going to document her.
Right. I now need everyone to be silent. I need everyone to be in the back.
Are we back to the other book?
Yes.
Yeah.
I need everyone to be doing the low stakes test in the back. And I need to be doing the register.
Miss, how come you're like constantly ill?
I'm not constantly ill. It's just been the last couple of weeks.
Nah.
I just don't think I'm allowing myself to get better.
Yeah.
I've got a lot going on in my life. Right. Thank you. That first one, I do appreciate you do have to read that one. We need to be facing the front first. You got a pen, Tom? Tom, you got a pen?
Oh, yeah.
I need it started. Just going to annoy everyone by putting the board down really quickly because we get Did you put it in your book? Older and more mature than that, surely. Right, let's start going through these. Right, the first 3 questions are paper 1 question 1 exercise. So this is from The Hobbit. I want 4 things that Bilbo Baggins sees and hears in the tunnel. I'm just going to put the answers up, taking a few off before the I wouldn't be able to if I was on freeze. So he sees a kind of glow, he sees a red light, he hears a sort of bubbling, or a sort of bubbling like the noise of a large pot galloping on the fire. He hears a rumble, or he hears unmistakable gurgling noise of some vast animal snoring in its sleep. Please, if you've got any of those. Holly? That is not what he sees and hears in the tunnel. Okay, that's how he feels in the tunnel. Okay. Right, 3, 4, and 5 then. What is a protagonist, please? Maya, what's a protagonist, please? You don't know? Okay. Finley, what's a protagonist, please? It's the main character. Now, does anyone know who the protagonist of Christmas Carol is, Elliot? Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes.
I think Scrooge, but Ebenezer Scrooge is fine.
Scrooge McDuck.
Scrooge McDuck is based on Ebenezer Scrooge. Yeah. A Christmas Carol was written during the Victorian era. Who was the monarch during the Victorian era? Anyone know? Queen Victoria. Named after her.
How'd you get that one?
Okay. Right. Like I said, tomorrow you'll be getting your assessments back. So I've just got a few to mark and Lex is not finished yet, so Lex can finish. But everyone will be getting this back tomorrow. Look, I think you'll be quite pleased.
Will I?
I think you'll be quite pleased.
That means I got a pass.
Right, date and title is on the board. We are going to be introduced to A Christmas Carol today, and I've Dr. My How and My Why. We are not going to be reading anything today. We're not going to start reading until Wednesday. Today we're just going to have a look at some of the big ideas in A Christmas Carol. And if we get onto it, just a little video about the context from the British Library. If we don't get onto that, I'm not overly worried. You're not going to be making a huge amount of notes today, okay? But there will be some writing involved, but not loads. Can I just say, I've given out all of the copies of A Christmas Carol that I have been given by Mr. Langmead. Ladies, your books, I have chased them up and he's having a look, chasing them up as well, okay? If you have got one at home, please bring it in for Wednesday. That's when we will start reading. Don't worry if you don't have this exact copy. I don't have this copy at home, and I'm not going to buy it because I've got about 400 copies of A Christmas Carol. I don't need another one. The school will provide you with a copy, but that copy belongs to the school, not to you. So you cannot write in it, you cannot highlight, you cannot do anything to it except from sit and read it. Okay? At GCSE, we really strongly advise you get your own copies of the text if you can afford to, simply because you've got an exam on these. We do annotate. I will be stopping to explain so you can put annotations in your book along the way as we are reading. So I've given these out. Keep them inside your books, people that have got their own copies, and I will get the other copies out on Wednesday when we start reading the book. Okay. A Christmas Carol then. A tale most of us probably know. Who's seen the Muppets? Muppets Christmas Carol is my favourite Christmas film. Absolutely love it.
Nah.
Scrooge McDuck.
After Christmas, better mate.
Yeah. Anyone seen the film Scrooge?
Nope.
That's what it's called. Is it called Scrooge or Scrooge? Yeah, with Bill Murray, and that's what I was talking about. Anyone seen that? That's yeah. Anyone seen the Christmas Carol with Jim Carrey in? It's on Disney Plus.
I don't think I have.
So, most of us, not all of us, but most of us are going into A Christmas Carol already having some prior understanding, some prior knowledge of the story.
I saw the actual play in theatre.
Brilliant. I've never seen it on stage. Was it boring, was it? 2, 1. Guys, I'm giving you some very important information right now. I'd appreciate if you listen, or if you're not listening, you're quiet. Ella, thank you. So, you will be assessed on A Christmas Carol in English Literature Paper 1. On this paper, you are given 2 questions. One of them will be on Macbeth, one of them will be on A Christmas Carol, and in total, you'll be in the exam for 1 hour and 45 minutes, unless you have extra time. You would know if you have extra time because you've probably already been told, or you will know when you get to your mock exams if you have extra time.
Why might you have extra time?
Because people have extra time
Autism.
for different reasons. So, for example, if you're autistic or if you have what we call an SEN, which is a special educational need, you're automatically given extra time.
How much extra?
Equally, it depends, it gets assessed for you. Equally, if you come to me and you're like, I am really struggling within the time, whatever, I can get you a thing called a RAT test, and that is where an outside, well, Mrs. De Pablo, but she's not in at the moment, so it'll be Miss Golding, will test you, and outside agencies decide whether or not you need extra time, okay? But I will not RAT test you if I think you're just being lazy in class, okay? But you will get extra time if you have an SEN, such as if you've got autism, if you have got dyslexia, that's very often an extra time thing. I said I taught a boy once who had 100% extra time. Right. So, it is paper 1. Your first question on paper 1 is Macbeth, but you don't study Macbeth until year 11, it's what they're currently doing. And your second question will be A Christmas Carol. I'm going to show you the paper in a minute though, because you'll see why. So each question, Christmas Carol and Macbeth, follow exactly the same format. You will be given an extract from the book and you'll be asked a question based on that extract. Okay? The question will have some contextual focus, so I tell you where in the book it's been taken from, and there is no choice of question. You have to answer that one. Okay? If you don't answer that one, you just get 0. In other, well, not in other, but for example, when you do an inspector course, which you will study after Christmas at some point around Easter, you get 2 questions for an inspector course and you choose which one you want to answer. A Christmas Carol and Macbeth, you get given 1 question, you have to answer it. We would say you're expected to spend about 50 minutes on your response, and you're assessed on the same AOs as unseen poetry, AO1 and AO2, ideas and analysis. And this time, you get AO3 marks, which is context. So understanding what was happening when Charles Dickens was writing A Christmas Carol, what ideas he was putting into his text, what he wanted to tell the reader. So that for our what, how, why from poetry, exactly the same, you're just applying it to a different text. This is what it looks like in the exam. So this here is just copied and pasted from an exam booklet. So you get given, I'm just going to get it up bigger for you, give me a second, I closed it down, don't know why I did that. Key stage 4, this is what paper looks like.
It's heating up.
So you get given, this is what you get given in the exam. You get given this, and all of these questions are in it.
Miss, I might just not live. Like,
All of those questions are in it, right.
God blimey, mate.
Now, what's really
Crikey.
helpful is that the examiner gives you a contents page.
Wow.
These are all of the texts that at GCSE we can teach you. So you can be taught Macbeth, you are taught Macbeth. You can be taught Romeo and Juliet. You are not taught Romeo and Juliet for GCSE.
Bro, Julius Caesar, that'd be
Can you be
sick.
quiet? Shh. But you were taught it in year 8. Now, we have had an example before where a student could not answer the Macbeth question, so they answered the Romeo and Juliet question instead because they knew it, and they actually did all right. So it's there for you. That's why we teach you Shakespeare in the lower school. Okay? So these are all the Shakespeares that we did much of doing in year 7 as well.
No, we didn't.
Oh, you did. You had your COVID, didn't you, in year 7? Yeah. Oh. But most of our students will be doing the Macbeth question equally. So you choose the Macbeth question. When you get down here, the one that you will study is A Christmas Carol. That is the one that we expect you to be answering. Okay. Every single year we get a student who tries to answer every single question in the booklet. Each question is worth 30 marks. Do you reckon that student does particularly well in their GCSE?
You get extra marks when I'm all for
Yeah.
No, they don't.
What do you mean?
I once had a student who tried to answer a question on Pride and Prejudice, a novel they had never read. And they were talking about the characters in Pride and Prejudice, and they had no idea who they were. It
Nice.
was thankfully in their mock exam, and I was like, what are you doing? I've not taught you Pride and Prejudice. thought I had to answer all the questions. No. So when you are in your mock exam, you just go to the A Christmas Carol section, which is, I'm just going to search it. Okay.
Oh, panic.
No. So this is the only question that you will be given. Okay? None of this is going to make any sense to you at the moment, but this is from chapter 4 of A Christmas Carol. In this extract, Scrooge meets the ghost of yet to come, has to go to Christmas future. You get given the extract. It's normally about no more than 1 to 30 lines. Sometimes it's less.
That's a big range, miss.
No, I mean, it's no more than 30 lines, that's what I meant. Sometimes it's a little bit less, but it's very rarely more. Then you get given a question. So starting with this extract, explore how Dickens presents Scrooge's fears in A Christmas Carol. Obviously, once you've read the book, you'll understand that question better. Tells you what to write about. Write about how Dickens presents Scrooge as frightened in this extract. They want you to write about that extract. If you don't write about the extract, you can't get all the marks. And how Dickens presents Scrooge's fears in the novel as a whole. If you don't write about the whole novel, you can't get all the marks. So you have to write about the extract and the whole novel. Okay? But we'll be doing a lot of work on how to link the extract to the whole novel, so don't worry about that. But obviously, we will not be doing that for quite some time because it's going to take us about 5 weeks to read the whole thing. Because we're going to be reading a chapter a week. There are 5 chapters. Chapter a week. Probably take us till Christmas, wouldn't it? Got 5 weeks till Christmas.
No.
And then when we come back after Christmas,
That's cap.
Yeah. It will be focusing on how we're going to link to the rest of the novel, bring all the ideas together. Okay? So that is the exam for this one. Where am I? Christmas Carol. First thing I want you to do some mind map or a list. What do you already know about Christmas Carol? The characters, the plot, anything at all you know about Christmas Carol, get it down.
Oh my god, it's still going. It's still going. TorbridgeHigh usually. Bro, do it in a Dave lesson. Bro, it's 17 minutes in.